Hi there, it's David Naguna. I'm happy to be here talking to you from Lake Atitlan in the Mayan Highlands, a very strong power spot where I have my studio. And we're going to talk about the Aquarian pileup that's happening now around the new moon, the start of the Chinese New Year, and the first of those very powerful squares between Saturn and Uranus that set really the tone for the coming year. Back on the grand conjunction at the solstice of Saturn and Jupiter, they moved into Aquarius. And since then, the sun has moved and the planets that we were seeing in the evening sky of Saturn and Jupiter have now disappeared behind the sun. And they're going to emerge after this next new moon. And that emergence of Saturn and Jupiter in the morning sky, it's a portent for the new beginnings really showing themselves. The seeds that were planted on the solstice are now starting to sprout. We don't quite identify which ones they are, but we can see that there's growth. So this is a very important time as the sun kind of purifies, breaks open those seeds. And at the same time, we have Venus and Mercury also moving into Aquarius, making a tremendous pileup of energy there in Aquarius. It hasn't had such an accent, Aquarius, since the early 60s, which was a very powerful time. So let's talk a little bit about the energy of Aquarius. Aquarius is an air sign, and it has those two wave patterns. There are two rulers for Aquarius. The traditional ruler is Saturn, which represents the status quo structures. And the modern ruler is Uranus, which represents individuality and eccentricity. Saturn and Uranus, they make such a powerful meeting of energies. Saturn is how we organize and give form in our life in the outside world. Uranus is our eccentricity and our unique abilities that we have, our star-like being, our connection to the source. Do we give enough time? Do we give enough structure to allow that energy to flow through? This is what Aquarius is asking. Those two waveforms there in Aquarius. One below is Saturnal, asking you to structure. The one above is Uranian, asking you to find that inner essence and flow. And this communication in Aquarius between the two frequencies is super accented right now on the new moon, as not only is Saturn there making this square with Uranus, but Jupiter and the sun and the moon and Mercury and Venus are all piling up there in Aquarius. Jupiter and Saturn met on the winter solstice, and we did a big ceremony to plant the seeds at that time. And now Saturn and Jupiter have disappeared behind the sun, and in a sense that kind of pops open the seeds, and they will re-emerge from the evening sky and reappear in the morning sky along with Mercury and Venus, actually. So this real emergence of those planets, having been purified by the sun and by the moon on the new moon, is a very powerful time to watch some of the plans or seeds that we had at the solstice, which ones are taking what's emerging. So it's a super powerful time, and the Uranian square that comes in on the 17th really brings in a lot of accent for the year. The new moon is also the year of the ox. It's the start of the Tibetan and Chinese New Year. And this ox year, the ox is very much about plodding forwards and plowing through things and tugging along through the year, making progress. So this is going to be an important preparatory week out of which things can emerge. So please join us for these ceremonies. Thank you, and be well. Stay well.